Take a look at this. This drone, used for capturing video, has been retrofitted with lethal capabilities. Footage like this has been more widespread since the war in Ukraine began, allowing us to bear witness to the change in the character of war. These drones have become valuable in this war because they can go where people can't and cause heavy damage at low monetary cost and at a very low human cost. This evolution is a result of our technological advancement, one that was once a march but is now a sprint. One that's no longer solely about the physical capabilities, but how we can empower it with its digital side, the ones and zeros. But it's one that's not exclusive to us.
A single laptop was all it took to control the fleet.
It's one that can be used against us too. There's a place down south in the Lone Star State where tech organizations have converged and are growing in number. Rivaling the likes of Silicon Valley, it's referred to as the Silicon Hills. The Marine Corps Software Factory makes its home and it collaborates with Boston Community College, where it also works alongside its Army counterpart in this advanced warfare experiment.
The Marine Corps Software Factory is an organization that trains Marines how to develop software using modern industry best practices by Marines for Marines. We also provide operational capability, mission-specific software for these operational commanders down at the tactical edge.
Sean has been here since day one, providing industry expertise.
I think at first, people were just interested to see if we had the capability and interest for Marines and soldiers to be able to build software or bring these kind of emerging technologies into the force. We were prototyping and piloting this technical capability in the Marine Corps Software Factory, where you have Marines that are being taught how to develop software in several different roles.
The young Marines today in our Marine Corps are digital natives. They grew up in a time when technology was always available at their fingertips. They're very fluent with it. So we have this latent talent that's scattered throughout the service. And what the Marine Corps Software Factory does is it takes advantage of that latent talent. It capitalizes on it by enabling these Marines with the right blend of industry, academia, and the joint force, and imbuing them with the skill sets necessary to be able to develop mission-specific software for operational commanders.
So that a commander in the future can come to that embedded team, ideally, and say, I have a problem. The operations are shifting on the battlefield in a certain way. Can you build me the technical solution? Can you gather the data that allows me to make a decision faster? This is the capability that we're trying to prove out, that we have proven with a Marine Corps Software Factory, and that we're trying to scale into the Marine Corps at this point.
But battlefields are complex and situations change. The more options you have, the better you can adapt.
When the commander needs a mission-specific solution, they have to go about it one of only two ways right now. On one end of the spectrum, we have low-code, no-code solutions. And what low-code, no-code is basically little to no code writing in order to deliver your software solution. Is usually pulling in together, stitching together pre-built components to get you what you want. It's a self-help mechanism that is available today. The beauty about that is that the more Marines taking advantage of these tools and skill sets, we're slowly raising the digital literacy level across the service. On the opposite end of that spectrum, we have the large conglomerate skyscraper, right? That's acquisitions, where they have the manpower and resources that large-scale enterprise-level solutions that are highly capable, complex. Those solutions deserve the level of rigor and resourcing that only acquisitions can provide.
To acquire something, the Marine Corps has to go through a reasonably arduous process to make sure that we're getting the right solution, but it can take years to get a solution to a Marine or a commander in need in the battlefield.
Anywhere from a couple years to 5 to 10 years, depending on who we go through.
Well, the enemy gets a vote. The battlefield changes, the equation changes, and hopefully that commander is still in the same seat to be able to be the beneficiary of that solution. Not every decision support tool that a commander needs down at the tactical level requires acquisitions to work on it. So that's where the Marine Corps Software Factory comes in. We are able to address those mission-specific needs with the Marines that have intimate understanding of those operations at that level and deliver a solution in a very, very timely manner. I'm talking about days and weeks, not years.
And you need both. In the same way that you've got a corps of engineers that can build a suspension bridge that could last 100 years. And then you also have combat engineers who are there to, breach an obstacle or produce a temporary bridge to bridge a gap. In the same way that a combat engineer is meeting the needs of the operational battlefield, that's what we're saying needs to happen with these software engineers. You need to have an engineer out there that can create a software solution that connects the data from those two systems so that in a week or in days or in moments, that commander can make that decision on the battlefield to meet the needs of the operation. As soon as you say a career field to build out many high-skilled technical Marines, they're thinking we're taking rifles away from people and giving them keyboards instead. We're going to reduce the lethality of our Marine Corps because of that. But that's a really misguided way to think about this. When you think about it, these are the individuals that are going to wake up every day and build more efficient operations through technology. They're the ones that are going to automate your operations by using digital transformation. Our processes are not digitized in a way they need to be. They're not automated. We're not, collecting information from these processes. And so they're not efficient. And so we've got multiple Marines doing things in support capacity that should take one Marine, or it could be automated to no Marines. Yeah, you take a rifle now and replace it with a keyboard. What you're gonna do is reduce the number of total Marines that you need to do the job, and now you're handing out rifles to twice as many people because you become more efficient as an organization.
A core competency is a function that is internal to your organization that the rest of your organization relies upon.
We just look at what industry does, because industry is doing that today in the correct way.
Every Fortune 100 company across the landscape has an internal software development capability internal to their company, and the reason why that is because it does a number of things for them. They get to ensure security of their intellectual property or information, allows them to leverage the talent of the people that are intrinsically familiar with their internal operations, and it gives them the capability of being able to rapidly pivot and address issues that they come across that they don't have the time to go and externally source.
I think at first, people were just interested to see if we had the capability and interest for Marines and soldiers to be able to build software. So our bigger idea was, how quickly can we produce them? How can we do it at scale?
So the Marine Corps Software Factory is a training organization where we train Marines how to develop software. It starts out with Marines submitting to apply for the Software Factory. Once we interview them, they go through an extensive process for either a product manager, software engineer, or product design track. Once they've been selected, they come to what we call a cohort training, which is where they do the tech accelerator training. It's about a 3-month-long course.
You can come into this course with very little programming experience. It's 24 college credits. You start off with just the basics, right? Programming fundamentals, go through an entire what's called like a full stack development education.
We then embed them onto a team as a junior developer. Over the course of 9 months, they pair with industry. That's where we continue their on-the-job development. Beyond that 9 months, if we see fit based on their current skill sets, we'll then pair them with mill devs.
As for a software developer, we're always on the keyboard coding. We're always doing research and development and working hand in hand with our product manager to point us or guide us into the direction that this application is going.
We can build a junior level software developer in under 12 months at this point.
We've taken a Marine who either had little to no skills in software development and evolved them to a Marine who's able to develop on a product team and deliver solutions.
Yeah, the idea is to bring Marines in and introduce them to the world of software development.
We take any Marine from any background and teach them how to develop software.
These Marines are able to utilize their operational experience that they bring to the software factory to help develop solutions for those mission-specific problems that those commanders are having.
These are skills that are 100% teachable and that we can replicate here at the software factory. But where the real value is added is when we take those Marines out of that training pipeline and insert them into actual teams. So that's where they're building real apps for real fleet commanders, and they provide that direct value to the Fleet Marine Corps.
With these new skills, they went to work, using software to solve Marine Corps challenges.
A big thing that we have to do is sense and then make sense, right? What can I use that's on my ship today and what my Marines have capability-wise to sense around me?
So one of our applications seeks to maximize the capabilities of our commercial maritime radar assets.
So this is one of the first apps that we developed as a software factory. Sparta stands for Sensor, Processor, and Analysis Radar Translation Application. It's a mouthful, but it really does what it says, right? And what it does is it provides the ability for Marines to take their commercial off-the-shelf sensors and connect it into our applications and process it through as a cursor and target, so that way they could track maritime vessels with a commercial off-the-shelf radar.
They are radars that we are using to track maritime vessels that could possibly be enemy threats and try and get intel on them. Kind of get a rough estimate on what we're dealing with.
The Marine Corps Software Factory works closely with units for tailored solutions to achieve missions faster and more decisively.
So they had the hardware capability, however, there was a gap in a working software solution. They had something called a Python script that would be able to somewhat interface with some pieces of data, but the users had no idea how to manipulate this script, and 90% of the time it didn't work. We started out with, hey, based on all these problems, we understand that you want track quality, you want to be able to get PLI information, you want to be able to understand positional, navigational, directional information about these tracks. So we went through all the API documentation, all the specifications of all the hardware and software that they use, and we were able to come up with an application called Sparta. So MVP number one was just taking that sensor data, translating it, and sending it off in his data format.
Right now, they're preparing to test out like a full integration of utilizing Simrad Halo radars and Puma drones.
Next step was, hey, we need a UI so users can manage this data. So we built the web interface where you see a map and you see every track plot on the ocean or wherever that track is. And you can click on it and you can see all of its details, you can customize it. So it's a complete workflow for the users, 100% based on all of the requests from them. So every single feature, every single implementation in that entire application came directly from second LAR. And then as we evolved and outreached to more units, then we gained more requirements from 1MEF, 2MEF, 3MEF, deployed units on Muse, and so on. Our users specifically out of second LAR and second Recon use these so they can connect to the Sparta application and then turn them into COTS as well. So those COTS show up on the Sparta map. They can see the UAS video feed. Then they can see that on TAC as well, and any other system that ingests cursor on target data.
They are able to identify vessels in their battle space. They're able to tag those vessels, whether they are enemy, friendly, unknown, or merchant. We are able to leverage that data in a meaningful way, and they're able to use that for targeting and help both the Navy and the Marine Corps maintain control of the maritime domain.
And they can send that cursor on target off to other common operating pictures so that way they can have situational awareness too. What it's doing is it's filling a gap in the kill chain, right? Because now we're sensing, now we're tracking, so now we can do all the other things in the kill chain that we need to do as commanders.
But not every answer is at the tactical edge. Enabling our people comes first.
You would have hundreds, if not thousands, of Marines showing up to these venues across major Marine Corps bases or small bases, all there to meet their one monitor. They have a lot of Marines to see.
So they would just show up, they would go to what MOS station that they saw out there, and they would fumble through this awkward conversation.
It could be anywhere from an hour-long conversation per Marine, or it could be 5 minutes. These conversations are extremely valuable to Headquarters Marine Corps, especially with retention.
MMEA needed to be more efficient and effective with how we were interfacing with the Marines that we serve. We knew we needed to get past signing into a green book, waiting 3, 4, or 5 hours to see your monitor.
Wasting their entire day sitting at a venue. And a lot of Marines also don't know that the roadshows exist, so they lose their opportunity to be face-to-face with a person that can control where they're going to go. Effectively, if you're seeking guidance or seeking a lateral move or seeking re-enlistment or seeking orders, you want to speak to this person face to face, and it's a proven model that works. However, there's no metrics. There's nothing that actually captures how many people they're seeing or what the Marines are actually wanting, and there's no good communication for the Marines out in the fleet to know when these things are happening, so there's a lot of missed opportunity.
We want to treat each Marine and their needs on an individual basis. And to do that, we need to be more effective with our time and how the conversation goes, and formulate how then we can integrate that into the needs of the service.
So the Marine Corps Software Factory did what they do best. They made an app. It's called MyCareer.
This application makes it dummy simple for a Marine to be able to pick up their phone and register online.
They can tell the monitor what they want to do, what billets they're looking at, what's going on in their personal life, what they want to get out of this professionally, what's the next step in their career.
And for a monitor to see a wait list of people that they need to see in an orderly fashion, to be able to conduct interviews at an efficient rate with, warm start information.
It really allows me to skip through sort of the entry-level courses and really get down to the need of the Marine. I can really have 3 things provided for the Marine once they arrive here to sort of give them some resources, some ideas that they may not have thought about before they even arrive here. And then more importantly, it allows me to kind of look at their career path and where they're currently located in their career and what they need to do next.
And the monitor can see that. What are the needs of the service? What billets does the monitor have to fill? And marry those 2 things together in a much more effective manner. And MyCareer is directly contributing to our ability to have a more effective engagement when we talk to Marines. It's about time, it's about effectiveness, and it's about being smart when we go out there.
I think that this app is going to really just make a deeper connection between the Marine and the monitor, and then also make the monitor a little bit more available, because the Marine can schedule time at any time they want, and they can actually make appointments on a day-to-day basis using this software.
It makes more Marines want to go out and do that, so they're not wasting their entire day sitting at a venue.
And so they can get back to work on being a better warfighter, and that is making sure our Marines are ready when our nation's called.
We're just advancing the technology for how Marines can control their careers at a human level.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. We are seeing what we estimate probably a 60% increase in the number of Marines that we are seeing. And we're seeing this play out in the increase in our retention numbers. We've hit an unprecedented number in FY24, and we think we're going to get better in FY25 and FY26. The untapped potential of MyCareer is in the analytics. We can now start to capture feedback as Marines have an experience with us, and they're willing to provide the feedback, and then we can bring that back into a database, and that can help focus then where we spend our time and we spend our money. And that's absolutely critical to being more efficient and effective as we move forward with our retention campaigns. You know, the real story of MyCareer is the collaboration and coordination between MMEA and the Marine Corps Software Factory, but also the Marine Corps' collaboration with industry. So if you really think about what's happening here, right, is we developed this organization in the Marine Corps Software Factory that interfaces with cutting-edge technology in industry. And they provided us the pathway to bring that into a critical component inside of the Marine Corps, the enlisted retention section of the Marine Corps, that's MMEA. And so we were able in 6 months to be able to interface with industry, develop an application that's relevant to us and what we do on our daily basis, and develop this over time. Now we're going to take this into what I would say is just the way that we do business. That, to me, is a change in how the Marine Corps is operated in today's environment, and it should be a model for how we move forward with other initiatives.
And one of the main space later, once we reach excited. So just please. All right. Stand up.
If you go to the software factory today, you'll see this. Coders glued to their screens, to their work. What you won't see, however, is this. This is a choice that takes more than talent. It takes obsession. Obsession that's tied back to purpose.
Myself as Maxwell and the Marine Corps at large benefits from this. I mean, this is a prime example of talent management by placing me in an environment that enables me to actually do something that I'm not only passionate in, but I'm capable in.
Marine to be awarded. Report to the Commandant of the Marine Corps. For meritorious service while serving as a software developer at the Marine Corps Software Factory.
Yes, Sergeant Eiler, it is a privilege to get the awards you have for your incredibly valuable work. So thank you, my friend.
This came out of nowhere for me, and it was a place that I'd always dreamed of going to once that MAR admin was released. And I came here to do one thing, and that's actually make this place successful in some way. And I believe that every single person that ends up coming here has the same exact mindset.
The skills that I'm gaining here are not only valuable for industry, but they're valuable to myself. I absolutely love learning new things. I strive to be uncomfortable and dive into spaces that are going to push the boundaries for what the DoD thinks is possible and make technology that works for Marines, for soldiers. That's the driving factor, right? Because you know that the software that we're building, whether it's MyCareer, whether it's Sparta, whether it's a future application that could work with any commander, we know that's going to change people's lives and it's going to help them do their job and do what they signed up to do. Being able to say that I made a difference by something that I created and helped support to create, that's why most of us join, because we want to make some sort of an impact, and this allowed me to do that.
Right now we're located in Camp Pendleton, Southern California. Marine Corps Software Factory is supporting 1st Marine Expeditionary Force as they conduct an exercise called Steel Night to rehearse their TTPs and do technology experimentation for future combat.
Technology's at your fingertips. You can learn not just how to program, but how to optimize whatever process you're doing, and that's what we're proving here. If you're afraid of wanting to dive into something like this or join the Marine Corps Software Factory, to not be afraid. We want people that have experiences outside of just technology. We want people that understand Marines, because I'm not valuable as a software engineer. I'm valuable because I'm in uniform and I know how to fix Marine Corps problems.
The group out here, one of their radars went down and they were kind of scrambling and they pulled us in. Being out here with the guys is super important for what we're doing.
Everything that we do is about warfighting. Otherwise, why are we even here? But what we're trying to convince the service is that by investing boldly in capabilities like these and leveraging information and turning that into combat power, it extends and maximizes the effective range of your kinetics.
We've proven that Marines can build software and build these tools and build them rapidly enough for operational relevance and to create operational agility. Now, we need to scale that so that we have these individuals in our formations so that a commander can reach their left, reach their right, and actually produce that capability in the battlefield. What we're going to need to do is build out enduring career fields so that we have a large amount of Marines that can do that.
This piece, checklist, go off.
The need is out there. These commanders experience problems that need to be solved very rapidly. We're able to answer that call. We have this talent out there. They're passionate about doing this work. We have a responsibility at the Marine Corps Software Factory to the Marines at the tactical edge to provide those solutions to ensure that we're leveraging information the way that it needs to be leveraged in an increasingly more dangerous battlefield landscape, ensuring that a battle that is fought is swift or deterred altogether to bring Marines home safely.